Speak life to the death of me.
Speak life.
Yo, what's up, and welcome to another episode of Speak Life right here on Gorilla Cross. I'm your host, Quan59, and that was not the intro beat I tried to click on, and I clicked on the wrong beat, but it still worked. It was a dope beat. Shout out Terra Firma Records for the production on the show. Yeah, man, we're here 2 weeks in a row. Everyone's going crazy because we're back to back in the studio, and we have two new guest co-hosts in the building that weren't here last week. So I'm just rotating people in and out. But long time, it's been a minute. He quit the church and now he's in the studio.
What are you talking about?
We got Luke DiMarzio in the building. How you feeling, man? It's been a long time.
Good. It's been a long time. I'm having a good summer though, man. Yeah, I am taking some time off from work that gets gifted to us as pastors every 6 years. So I'm taking advantage of it, you know.
No, that's good though. I definitely think pastors need and deserve time off like that to be able to take that sabbatical. That's what they call a sabbatical, to refresh. I mean, you're working basically 24/7 around the clock doing ministry stuff. You know?
At least worried about the next thing, you know. Yeah.
Yep.
So
getting refreshed.
Yep.
You working on any music yourself?
I'm supposed to, but I'm not very motivated these days.
Really? Why not?
Yeah. Kids, when I'm at home, man, kids suck up your time. You know, you got to do other stuff. You got to be present with your kids. You can't just like lock yourself in a room and try to write. So I'm just in a weird season right now with it.
Yeah.
So,
I feel you.
yeah.
Well, that might change. School season's coming up. You throw them back in school and do your thing. And we have the man, the myth, the legend, Zone 3 back in the building. He submitted a dope track last week, and he's back.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. You know, just doing some new music. I just recorded a song yesterday. And just working on keeping God first, you know what I mean? When I wake up, first thing that I do when I wake up, you know, hit my knees, open my Bible before I hit TikTok or Facebook, and just really trying to pursue God and keep him first, you know, in everything I do.
That's good, man. We're trying to get Luke to do that.
Freaking kids.
But we have a special guest. This whole season, which has been 2 episodes long so far since February, and we vowed to be more consistent, so we are going to be here every Tuesday.
Okay.
For the rest of the year.
Let's go.
For the rest of the year. We'll be here every Tuesday. It'll be different people. Luke might not be able to be here every Tuesday, but he wants to be here.
Yep.
I know he had hit me up a couple times saying he missed the show and missed me.
Oh yeah.
And missed destroying your guys' music. But we have a special guest. I was supposed to have somebody in the studio and they canceled, so I was getting somebody else, and then they had to cancel, so it was just like juggling things a little bit. And then I hit up Luke because he was going to be on the show today. I'm like, hey, do you know anybody that would want to do an interview today on the show? Because I know you're more connected with artists than I am. I used to be very connected with artists, and now it's kind of not a thing for me, really. You know, I'm just not as connected. But actually listening to his music today got me more excited for the music, because I go up and down with it. Sometimes I love it. I'm listening to a lot of Christian hip hop, and then I'm like, dude, I don't want to listen to anything but worship. I'm sick of these rappers.
That's where I've been last 2 months, listening to straight worship.
Yeah. And it's a good thing. You know, I think you have to have a mix, because sometimes worship too, if you listen to too much worship, you start getting a little like, all right, this is, you know,
You gotta start driving a minivan.
I need some road rage music. I need some road rage music. I need something pumping me up, getting mad, you know, all that stuff. But so I asked Luke, hey, do you know any artists? He hit me up with someone quick, and he hit us back and said he's down to do it and listen to the new music. And I'm like, man, this is a good artist to have on. Man, producer has been doing a lot. We're gonna talk to him right now. We got Phathom live on the show. What's good, bro? How you feeling? Moving.
How are you?
Moving from Seattle. I mean, I don't want to tell everybody where you live if you don't want people to know, but you moved across the country a little bit.
And we moved from Seattle to Arizona, and we drove the whole thing. And it has been, a lot. It's been a lot, a huge change from just temperature alone. Temperature alone has been insane. It was 115, 116 2 days ago, and when we left, it was 70. And so it's been a big change, a big shift, trying to adapt to that and get used to it. Everything, you're always dehydrated because you don't drink enough water, or you don't get enough this, or you don't get enough that. So it's a big adaptation to try and really get acclimated to things.
Now, what made you make that move going from Seattle to Arizona? Because that is kind of drastic, like you said, especially with the weather.
Right now, so for me, I've done martial arts and MMA for like 30, 35 years. And so my knees are shot. Like I started when I was 3-ish, between 3 and 5, I think, kind of off and on. And my knees are shot. So I'm like, I need somewhere where it's not cold and raining all the time. And so Arizona was that spot. Like, that was it. So we was looking at different places, talking to Curtis Hoppy in Idaho. Texas was on the list, talking to Luke about Vegas a little bit. But it all came down to Arizona. Like, it just, everything worked out. Everything just, all the boxes got checked. And so we came down in April and was looking at things and found what we've been wanting, and, you know, prayed about it, prayed really hard, and everything worked out. Like, God literally just dropped us this gem right in our lap, and it's just like, yo, you can't pass that up. That's just too perfect. So
yeah,
here we are. So.
And I call Arizona the boring Vegas because the weather's the same, but there's not anything to do out there. So why did you pick Arizona over Vegas? What was the deciding factor on that?
So there's a ton to do out here from what I found so far. For me, it was just more so like, I never have been to Vegas, and this is going to be a crazy story. When I was a kid, I used to fight. I fought Ben Henderson when we were kids in Taekwondo. And we made the national team. We were supposed to go fight in Vegas, and I was all ready to go. I made the team. My mom's like, yo, you can't go to Vegas. You can't do it. I'm like, I just made the national team. Why can't I go? She said that if I go to Vegas, I'm gonna get my kidneys cut out in the bathroom, so I'm not allowed to go to Vegas.
Oh, dang.
You have to vacate your spot. I'm like, I'm going to fight. I'm going there to fight. This is what I'm doing. I'm not going there for like a chess tournament. Like, I'm an actual fighter. Like, this is what I do. He's not gonna stab me. I'm good. But wasn't able to do that, and never had the chance to go, and you know, got a daughter, so trying to raise a daughter in a certain, you know, just different places is what it all came down to. And so Vegas was definitely dope, but we're 4 hours away, so we can always make a drive up to Vegas and come check things out. So,
and we do know quite a bit of artists out there in the Phoenix area.
Yeah.
I know Weez, the Satellite Kid, is out there in that area, stuff like that.
Wayne Classic's here, Cannon's here.
Yeah.
Cannon's there now too. I forgot about that.
There's a guy named Xavier Sorrow is out there. I don't know if you know who that is.
Cool.
And Weez, he works for the airline. I'm not sure if he still does, but you could hop on the plane with him. He could sneak you in on his carry-on luggage and bring you right out here.
I heard from my homie that the rappers out there are weird. So
I say that all the time.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. There's a couple cool ones, but you got to watch out. Some of them are weird.
Ain't no different than Seattle. Seattle is weird capital. So
how was the scene out there in Seattle?
Non-existent.
Really?
Non-existent. Does not exist. You have a handful of people. You got Rocker Mr. Everything. He's out there. He came up from Portland, originally from Philly. You got Les J Music. He's kind of new on social in regards to the space, but he's been doing it for a minute. Super dope West Coast guy. And you just got little handfuls of things, but there's no real scene. There's no community where you come together or anything. Like there's a rapper here or a producer here or something like that, but there's really nothing. There's not a lot, and so it wasn't that difficult to leave. Even the hip hop scene has changed drastically. Back in the day when I used to perform at all the clubs up here, it was you had certain demographics would kind of stick together. Then Macklemore kind of popped up on the scene. Before him, Mix-a-Lot was kind of getting out of it. He was doing a lot of radio. There was a guy named Livio. He was trying to be the next Mix-a-Lot. You had another group named Unexpected Arrival. So there was a good hip hop scene. A guy named Il Chris used to go by Logix, Mike Phathom. A lot of really dope, secular artists. That section is great. But as far as CHH goes, I haven't found any community in that out here, and it just doesn't really exist, unfortunately.
Yeah. Did that matter much with the internet? Does it matter as much if you live in a community that has it? I know for me it kind of does, because I want to network with people in real life and get together like we do at the show here. Like if I did live somewhere else, I could Skype Luke in. I could do exactly how we brought you in, right? And we could have all four of us on here. But there's something about being in the same place, being able to build in person, that is just different than what we're dealing with on social media and living in the digital world we live in. So does that matter to you much, or are you good with, just having those relationships, through the internet?
No, to me, it didn't really matter, because I did the local thing. And then when I started breaking out and working with secular artists, again, for example, Cannabis was in New York the first time I ever worked with him. I met him in Seattle, but the first time I actually did something with him, he was in New York. Chino was in LA. Crooked was I think in Long Beach. And so everybody was in different spots. Yeah. And so it never really didn't really matter to me. It was just like, yo, let's just make something dope. Whether you're down the street or you're across the country, like let's just do it. So, but it is always good to have community and meet people and kind of get to know somebody face to face, shake a hand, kind of know who they are, rather than just following what they allow you to see on the internet.
Yeah. So you have a background in secular music. You came up, you kind of name dropped a little bit right there, but can you talk about, I know you talked with me about this, but tell these guys and everybody else that's watching what it was like for you to cross over into Christian and the Christian hip hop scene.
Sure. It was different. I mean, so I come from the punchline battle rap era. Like that's what I came from, like late, like that golden era 90s hip hop. That was my bread and butter. That's where, that was what I did. I've done records with everyone from Cannabis, Crooked Eye, now goes by King Crooked, Chino XL, Raz Cash, J. Cole, tons of people on the secular side. But then when I wanted to come over here, and I really felt God say, hey, if you keep going and doing what you're doing, you're not going to make it. There's no pass, go collect $200. Like you go to jail kind of a deal. And so coming over, I was just like, man, this is going to be trash, man. Like these guys are gonna rap like DC Talk, and you know, no one's gonna be good. It's gonna be super corny and cheesy. And
So to
then I
that point, because
found
you mentioned DC Talk, to that point, what did you know about Christian rap? I mean, it was DC Talk all you knew?
so again, I have growing up, my parents never let me listen to hip hop. I wasn't allowed to listen to it. The first hip hop record I ever heard was Snoop Dogg's. It was a Snoop Dogg record. I don't know if we can say the name on the record on here.
Doggy style. Doggy style. You can say.
Then after
dogs
that,
have to make puppies somehow.
Right, and then there was another record I heard, and then but I had to sneak my way into that, and so I didn't really know anything about like hip hop at all. I started out getting into hip hop as a b-boy, so I knew all about the Planet Rocks, the African, you know, all of that stuff. I knew that kind of music, but I wasn't really in tune with like, you know, Mobb Deep or like real hip hop. And so just trying to get acclimated, you know, I was able to learn about one of the first Christian artists I ever got to hear was End Time Warriors, way back in
ETW.
That's the 80s, late 80s, I think. In late 80s was them. I went to their concert, and then when I'm doing my secular thing, I got to meet gospel gangsters, and they came to my church. And at this point, I was the battle rap god in Seattle. Like I was battling everybody. Like I was just it was me. And they came to our church, and after their show, I was like, "Yo, let's battle. Let's really see. Yo, you're kind of on my turf right now. Let's go." And I forgot who said it, but they was like, "Nah, we're good." And just kind of brushed me off and walked right past me. And I was like, "Man, I'm gonna write a diss track to these guys. This is don't do me like that." And so I discovered them. Was really into Lil Rascal, a buddy of mine who used to breakdance with us together. He liked him, so I heard his music. And then now he's a good friend of mine. And then luckily, this is a funny story too, that he doesn't remember this because we've had conversations about it and he doesn't remember it. I linked with KJ52 way back in the day on MSN Messenger.
Oh wow.
And for whatever reason, I don't remember all the details, but I didn't like him. I was really egotistical when I was saying some wild, crazy things, and we would just go back and forth on MSN Messenger, just talking to each other, saying all kinds of stuff.
So you just arguing with him on Messenger?
That was me. I was the I was the one that was talking out my So, and luckily now, you know, I think he's dope. You know, I've got the chance to have a couple conversations, and would love to work with them. But those were the guys that the early discoveries, and I found Cross Movement, and was like, yo, this is incredible. This is like Wu-Tang. This is real hip hop. And found out that they were Christian. I was like, man, this is it. So I literally had every single burned CD of Cross Movement. And then obviously later on, I would discover the Lecrae's, the R. Swifts, and so forth. And so that was really my early exposure to Christian rap. It wasn't, you know, I didn't know about everybody that was here. It was more so just like, hey, here's a handful of people. Here's Lil Rascal. Here's Antonius. Here's Gospel Gangsters. Here's everyone on Grapetree. And that I thought Grapetree was Christian rap. I thought that was it. That was all that there was. And and so, but when I came over to CHH, I found everybody from Dayton to Seven, Eshawn, you know, you name it. There's all the spitters, and I was like, wow, these guys actually are dope. These guys can hang with the guys that I used to roll with. So
about what year was that you started producing for Christian artists?
So I want to say that was either 2019, 2020, somewhere in there. So I'm still very, very green in the CHH space. Very green. Like,
and how have you been seeing? Sorry about that. I was just curious. How you been seeing God move since you've been doing this? Like, how has God been moving in your life and in the music?
So I won't mention the person name, but they're a very big secular artist in the like lyricism side of things. One morning, it's like 9 o'clock. I get a phone call. This guy calls me. She's like, yo, tell me about your faith. And I never in a million years thought that this person would ever ask me about faith, because what they would rap about was um, very vulgar, very violent, very everything else. And they called, and I was like, "Yo, well, first and foremost, Jesus Christ is my personal Lord and Savior. Like that. That's it all. That's right off the bat. Here's what I believe. Here's this. We have a full-on conversation." He's like, "All right, dope. That's what I want. That's what I wanted to hear. Perfect." And then we start praying, and we're talking about God. And then he's getting like, crosses tattooed on him, and he's wearing like "God is dope" t-shirts, and just so that's one. And then Chino XL, one of my absolute best friends, we would literally pray together every single morning. Like we'd always pray together, no matter what we were going through, no matter what, it was like we'd always just, it was more than just music. It would be like, "Yo, how's your day going?"
Yeah.
"I'm not doing so good." "All right, bro, let's pray." Boom. Yo, Phathom, what's up? How's your day going?" "And that's all right, cool, let's pray. And it would always lead to that. So it was never like just about the music. The music was just the bridge to get me to where I needed to go to have the conversation. And that's really what it's been about, is that God has used this to take secular artists that I came up with and be able to minister to them. That's for me, that's my entire mission statement, I guess you would call, is that my goal is to fulfill what God instructs us to do, is to go to the ends of the earth and reach the lost. And I personally feel I can't fulfill that and do that if I just stay inside these four walls and preach to the choir. I need to go out into the world and talk to the people, that don't know God or don't believe in God, and I have to speak to them in their language. I think a lot of times when we get in this mindset of we have to make CHH music and we have to preach to people, that's not always going to be the most receptive way. They're not going to receive that in the best light. If I'm telling you, "You're wrong at this, don't do this, don't do that," that's just like when we're kids and our parents are scolding us for what we do wrong. But if we can be like, "Yo, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to put Dayton on a record. He's going to be on a record with a secular artist that you respect, and he washes this dude 100%." And like, "Yo, who is this? Like this, who is this guy?" They click on his profile, first thing to hear, "Hallelujah all day." What's hallelujah all day? Like, what's that about? Let me dive in. "Oh, he's a Christian. A Christian can do this? Oh my gosh." And then they just dive deeper. I would get people that were secular artists like, "Yo, I want to do an entire gospel project with you." And then that would open up the conversation. Like, "Bro, I would absolutely love to do I would love to do a gospel project with you. But here's the catch. We can't just do one gospel project. That's not how it works. Like, faith is not a one-off. Like, we have to take it where it's either you are all in or you're not. Like, you can't be lukewarm about it. Like we got to figure it out. Like, if that's what you want to do, dope. Like, I'll pray with you. I'll help any way I can. But it's not just like, "Hey, I want to go I'm gonna go make a reggaeton record just because I just did a collab with a Hispanic person." That's not how it works. Like, either I'm all in and I'm gonna be a reggaeton producer, or it.
I want to touch on that more with you, because we do see a lot of artists do that. They'll come out with, they're secular artists. They'll come out with a gospel album. We've seen, I think Snoop try to do that before.
Yeah.
We've seen Kanye do it. We've seen KRS-One do it. We've seen people do it in R&B, crossing over to gospel. How do you feel about that? Because we've seen it so many times, and I'm glad that you kind of had that reaction when people would say that, because it's not just a genre of music; it's a lifestyle.
100%. I think it shows that people are hungry for something more, and it shows that people are interested, and maybe they are intrigued by the faith. Maybe it's something.
Do you think they might be looking at the music and being like, "This is a fan base I can make money off of"?
Honestly, in my opinion, I think that could be what it is. Because again, if you were to say I'm going to jump in as a secular artist, now I'm competing against the Jay-Z's, the Nas, all of these guys. Well, now I'm going to jump in as a Christian rapper, and I'm really, really good. I know I can admit, this is not me saying this, but let's just make MC Bob, he's super dope. He's like, "Hey, I can at least watch the top 50. I can watch the top 80. And so now I'm in the top 20, and I just jumped over from the secular space just to kind of get to that top, to get some fame, some notoriety, some streaming numbers. it's not that difficult there, you know, for
And,
that. So
and we've
that's
seen
kind
the
of where I would
Christian
see,
fan base get very excited the moment
right?
someone says they're a Christian. And so
Right.
there is a market out there for that. And if I wasn't a Christian and I saw that, I would easily tap in and manipulate that market because it is
Right.
very easy. Because Christians get
I
more
agree.
excited about the celebrity that says they're a Christian than they do the people that have been really living it.
Right.
You know, and it's
I agree.
sad in a way, but at the same time, it like we want to see the celebrities that a lot of people are praying for celebrities to become Christians and stuff like that. But
Right.
I've just seen that a lot, you know.
Because that's my thing. I always tell a lot of these secular artists that I work with, is just like, yo, could you imagine if you actually gave your life to God and you used your platform to actually minister? Like, you've got, you know, 1.2 million followers, bro.
Yep.
If 1.2 million people heard the word of God, you literally are responsible for 1.2 million people's souls, their eternity. Like, you have that much power in your words. Like,
That's
you
deep.
could send them one direction or the other way. Like, that's how heavy this is. And we'd have so many conversations. And then I remember I did a record with somebody, just legendary MC, and I was like, bro, like, can you just change this one particular line? Because he threw some things in there that was a little kind of weird. Like, I was cool with it because I understood the play on words, but he's like, nah, man, if I don't get full creative control, I'm a pass. And I was like, I respect it. I get it. You know, hey, you know, still nothing but love and respect. But, you know, I, as a person, I can't do that. You know, I've had people from the secular side like, yo, if you would just kind of tone that down a little bit, man, you could do so much more, and I could get you with this person and get you anybody you want, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I want to get it where my kids can listen to my music. I don't want it to be like, hey, hold on, this part's coming up. Let me turn this verse down. Back up. Okay. I didn't catch that one fast enough. Oops, my bad. I'm sorry. And then they're asking you, hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? I don't understand. I don't want to have those conversations, you know, with something I'm putting out. Because in 2017, I saw this video, and this is what changed my life forever. And I owe this guy everything. I think his name was Rod Perkins. He had a video where he dies and goes to heaven, and he's standing in the gates, and there's a lady in front of him, and this lady walks up to judgment, and God goes to her and says, one of your social media posts caused 200,000 people to turn from me. I'm not going to judge you based on the act of posting it and what you did. I'm judging you on the repercussions of that post. Depart from me, I never knew you. And so for me, that was just like, yo, how many times have we shared like a meme that probably shouldn't have been shared? Maybe that's like a behind closed doors things you and your good friend shared, or you said something, or you put a record out that might not have been like, it's kind of borderline. Now I look at things differently. What are the repercussions if somebody hears this particular record? Are they going to get closer to God? Or are they going to get further from God? Are they going
You
to
just convicted me, bro. Like, for real. That's some conviction right there. Yep.
Like, it's crazy. Like, because prior to that, yo, I would do a record with anybody. Like, if you call me tomorrow, it's like, yo, Rakim wants to do a record, bro. Like, where do I send the beats? Let's go. But now, people that I've always wanted to work with, I'm just like, can't. Like, I really want to. I desperately want to do a record with this person. You're a goat in my book, but I can't because you worship. You're a Muslim. You're this. You're that. Like, we're not going to talk about the same thing. You know, we're not going to be talking about the same God. Like, that's just not. It doesn't work. You know, I had a conversation with someone the other day that, long story short, I flew to LA and I walked from Glendale to North Hollywood for a record deal. And this dude was a label mate for that particular label. And I said, yo, would you ever do a Christian record? He's like, yeah, for sure I do a Christian record. I'm a 5%er and we believe Jesus is our brother. And I was like, your brother? Like, what you mean your brother? Like, the son of God is your brother? Like, that don't really make any sense. You know, and so I had to ask, you know, somebody. I was like, yo, can you kind of elaborate more on that? Like, I don't really understand that particular thing. But again, there's a lot of super dope artists that I'm like, man, I always wanted to work with that guy. But, you know, insert their faith, insert their lifestyle, insert what they say. So it's always, now it changed for me where it's just like, if my kid listens to this, what direction are they going to go?
Yeah.
Where on that why are they going to go? If, Billy down the street listens to it, what is Billy going to go do, and what's he going to think now based off of this? And I tell everybody this. I used to do a show with Dayton. I tell everybody that when you are a Christian artist, you get one opportunity to make a first impression. And if you go out there with some super garbage, not saying trap's garbage, but some garbage trap beat with some mumble, horrible, wavy flow, and someone, listening to like, this is garbage. I want nothing to do with Christian hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
You just turn them off to faith.
Yeah.
Like, what if you were the one person that was like, yo, this is the opportunity that this person might actually want to listen to what you have to say. You might be their only worship record. You might be the only pastor they ever hear.
Yep.
This might be the only message, but you gave them some garbage tape and they're like, yeah, this is trash. I'm going to go listen to insert secular artist. And so that's kind of where my mindset is now. Is just like, yo, put out the best music you possibly can and try and make it where you can speak the language that from the side I came from and make them go, yo, this is dope. You're doing Christian music? Yo, I want to dive deeper into what this is, because this is actually dope. Because the conversations everywhere. Like if you look at Good Morning America, the gospel, BET on the Gospel Awards, like secular artists in the secular space, they're hungry for faith. Mm-hmm. They want that. They want more. I wouldn't call it conscious rap, but just more something like that. And we have a huge opportunity. Like there is a huge opportunity right in front of us, and so it's just like, what do we do? How do we embrace that and take that to the masses? Like, yo, this is what Christian hip hop is, and it's really, really good. There's a lot of incredible MCs, not rappers, but MCs and producers that are way better and just light years ahead of what's coming out.
Mm.
So yeah.
That's good. Talk about this album, man. I know you've been dropping. You dropped quite a few singles last year. You just dropped the album a month ago. How's it been received? What was it like to craft all of that, put it all together? I know it was a lot of hard work.
So the What If project is I would call it like my career. My entire career summed up into one particular project. And so when I first came to CHH, I always had this idea: what would happen if you took the best MCs from both sides of the table and put them on records together? How would that sound? What would happen if you put Dayton on a record with Cannabis? Because Cannabis inspired him. How would that work? What would happen if you took Monster Tarver and put him on a record with King Crooked? If you put Bumps on a record with Copyright? They're essentially like the multiverse variant of each other. And at first I was very apprehensive because I was like, man, CHH is going to crucify me. They're going to come on saying that, yo, you can't do this. You can't work with secular artists. You can't do this and that based off what the secular artists are doing. And I'm like, yo, like, I can't control what somebody posts on their social media. All I can do is control what I can control.
Yeah.
If we put that out, then, someone that's got, 500,000 followers, they now are exposed to the gospel. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, let's just do it. So it was a love-hate project for me because I hated the waiting time. I absolutely hate waiting. Again, the secular side, we moved at 1,000,000 miles an hour. On this side, I noticed it's a lot slower. You get someone that drops a project and then like 4 years later, hey, I'm back. And it's just like that would not work on the secular side. You would be gone. And so, it was fun to do because, again, it was a lot of old relationships. For example, Safe House, it had RJ Payne and Jay Mills. I knew RJ Payne when RJ Payne went by Rain Man and when he won the MTV MC battle. I think he was the first one. And so that was like, back then we had a mutual friend named Clap. So it was me, Clap, Eddie Morris, and Rain Man, aka RJ Payne. Super, super cool. That was our little conversation group. And we were supposed to do a record back then, and it was supposed to be me, RJ, and Eddie Morris on a record together. And unfortunately, it didn't happen back then. And so fast forward 20 years later, it's like, yo, what up, man? I like the new name. We need to definitely, cash in on this record that was supposed to happen 20 years ago. Say less, let's make it happen. Boom. Jay Mills, same thing. Came up in the battle rap circuit. It's like, yo, man, I ain't seen you in 20 years. How you been, bro? You know, we should do something. I got this record with RJ. You and RJ, that'd be fire. He's from Philly. You're from New York. That'd be kind of dope. But I got some other cats. These are some Christian rappers. What do you think? You know, let's do it. You know, same thing with, you know, other people. Copyright. I used to have conversations for days on AOL Instant Messenger with copyright, and I still have all the receipts on my hard drive. I posted it one time before, and tagged them. And so it was really just getting a lot of the old connects back. Like, yo, we were supposed to do a record 20 years ago. Are you down to do it now?
Is there anybody you reached out to that you told the idea to, from secular or Christian, that just wasn't down with the idea?
One person. I won't say his name.
Say his name. We say names on Speak Life.
See, here's the thing. I've had some bad experience. I've said some things. I'm very blunt, and I will speak my mind. I've said some things, and I don't know how on earth things got transpired or reworded, but it would get sent to somebody, and then somebody would tell somebody else, and then I'd have beef with like 30 people, and I'm like, yo, that is not what I meant by any means. Hey, you know, everyone has an opinion. You know, we're good. But again, I'm not someone that's gonna shy away from, you know, if I think you're whack, I'll tell you that you're whack.
But what was that experience like when they didn't, you know?
I was like, yo, I would love to have you on this record. I think you'd be super dope. He's like, yo, man, I love mac and cheese and I love steak, but I wouldn't put mac and cheese on my steak. I love this and I love this, but I wouldn't put this on that. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about this project. And I'm like, that's a stupid analogy, but, you know, whatever, bro. It's all good. We can do a record later. And like, it's not that good. We're good, you know.
I like mac and cheese and steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get a little
Honestly, I wouldn't
mac and
mind
cheese
that
and
at
steak
all.
sandwich.
I think it sounds delicious, but I was just like, all right, yo, hey, not everyone's gonna rock with it. And I think he was the only person. Every secular artist was down. Everybody on the secular side, no issues whatsoever. I would get verses back in like 2-3 days.
They probably thought they were gonna body it. They probably thought they were gonna murk some Christian rappers.
That's what they thought. I'm pretty sure, because that's how I would have thought. I would have thought that these guys were going to be corny on some, you know, hey, Jesus loves you, one fish, two fish, like something really cheesy, you know. But you know, when you put these guys on, like, it was like, yo, bring your A game, because I'm bringing some beasts. And
why do you think the perception of Christian hip hop to outsiders is that? Because, you know, you said you kind of felt the same way, right? Like, coming into it, you were scared.
Yep.
But it's been dope for a very long time now. Like, I feel like you could have had that argument in the early 90s, but the perception is still there from outsiders. And I wonder why, because there are a lot of dope artists that are making really good music.
And I can tell you why. I think, and this is no shade to any platform by any means, I think a lot of the platforms and the playlists ultimately push a certain sound. They push a certain type of music. Not necessarily the best artist, but they'll push a certain sound.
Okay.
So if you listen to, you know, you just start browsing the different Christian rap playlists, you start going through them, all the songs sound the same. I got the same 808s. I got the same, that, you know, like, it all sounds the same. Like, nothing's different. But then you go to like the private playlist, like, cool, here's a gritty CHA. It's like, this is that golden era hip hop.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I want to hear this more than this. And so it's just like, if the powers at be would push the talent, I don't want to say talent, because I guess you got to be talented to do that too. But if you would push, like, you know, push certain people in certain directions, you would see a different outcome. Like, back in the day, I remember it was always about the source. Is it a 5 mic project? You know, 4 mics. If you went anything under a 4, your album was not good. You had the unsigned hype, so you knew this person was dope. You knew who was good. Back in the day, you had to be talented in order to have any sort of spotlight. Now you don't. Like, you just need an iPhone or a Android and TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to do. And so the demographic that's absorbing that material is just like that's probably what they like. But for the people that's like, yo, I want that lyricism, I want the most incredible punchlines, and I want stories, and I want this, that's our demographic. That's our age. You know, it's not these 15, 16-year-old kids that are
Yeah.
like, yo, man, I remember when Cool Herc put up the turntables and then you had this guy and you had Busta
Yeah.
Rhymes. They
Yeah.
don't know that stuff. They don't
Right.
understand the history of it. And so if you look at the demographics of it, it's just that's going to be who's obtaining music right now. And so I get you know,
What can
I
you
get
do?
it,
What can we
that's
do to
why.
change? What can we do to change the perception of the demographic that listens to CHH? Because I think the perception is that it's like middle class white dudes, maybe like like I don't know, like. But I don't think it's necessarily that. I mean,
No,
there's
they just run the biggest Christian hip hop website. It's not the whole fan base.
Well, no, I don't know if there's a way to. What I think would be smart is if you had these big name people kind of start shouting out the smaller name people, not necessarily smaller names. So, for example, if you were to take a Lecrae, everyone on earth knows who Lecrae is.
Yeah.
And he can rap his tail off. He's outshined some people on
Yeah.
recently in this. He's incredible. If you had Lecrae put Dayton on,
Yeah.
that would be dope, because
Right.
then now he takes his platform and he shares it with somebody else.
Right.
Taking Andy.
But he doesn't put people on that are better than him. No, I'm not even
Just
joking
saying.
about that, because
Well, no,
Reach
look
Records
at it from, like-
Reach Records would have blown up if they pushed KB the way they were pushing Lecrae back in the day.
Dude, that's a different
Look
conversation
at-
though. KB just has the same flow on every song now. He just does
Now
the
he
same
does.
stuff. It's the triplet flow constantly.
But back then, I think he was more marketable too. But I mean, I think that's the problem. We can't expect. And Lecrae, is he really as relevant as he was back then? I know everyone like he was the face for a long time. I don't really think he is anymore.
I think
he
he's
feels
stood
like
the test
he's-
of time though when it comes to his craft though. I think that he's even better of a rapper now than he was 20
he's
years
got
ago.
I mean,
that
if
song
you
with
just
Miles Minnick,
if
he
you
sounds
just
exactly like
yeah,
him,
if you just copy the rapper that's popular, that's not going to be hard.
Still dope though.
Nah, dude's
I don't
got
think
bars. Dude still has bars.
He's
He's
all right.
He's dope.
Yeah,
I think he's
he-
corny.
I won't say who featured him, but somebody featured him and
Miles Minnick?
he washed them. I'm not gonna say who featured him, but somebody featured him and he washed them. And I was like, yo, this is that. Yeah,
I mean, if it's Bay
wouldn't have
Area, it's
done
not
that,
hard to wash
know?
a Bay Area rapper.
But he's, if anywhere you go, if you look at, so King Legend did a thing recently. He went on this pier and was just asking everybody, hey, can you name 3 secular artists? Oh yeah, this person, this person,
Uh-huh.
this person. Cool. Can you name 3 Christian artists? Lecrae, and you would get Lecrae. I think a couple said like Miles Minnick, a couple said Andy. But in each one of those, whether you like them or not, I think everybody's dope in their own right. In my opinion, Miles, he's not like your MC. He's not someone that's going to appeal to someone that listens to me, for example. But he makes incredible hits.
Yeah.
He makes songs that will get everybody just to sing the hook. He makes the catchiest hooks.
Yeah.
Like, he knows how to craft a song. He is absolutely talented in that regard.
Yep.
If you were to say, hey, Miles, here's a mic, I want you to go freestyle and talk about this, and you're going to freestyle with, this person and this person.
Uh-huh.
That's not really his lane. But can he make a song? 100%.
Mhm.
Can he make a better song than a lot of people? 100%.
And he's definitely tapped
dope.
into the market of that genre of hip hop, that
he
style
knows
of
how
hip
to
hop,
do
and
it
he does it.
exceptionally
He does
well.
it great. He does it great.
Yeah.
And so
Because same
this
thing.
is
That's
my
not
thought.
really the style I love, but like I definitely appreciate what he's doing
Yeah,
with
definitely.
it.
There's
you
so
know?
many
He's-
artists out there
he's
that I
killing it.
think are dope, but I just don't like them. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
is what it is.
I look at music and CHH like this. I look at it like a hand. There's gonna be people that are exceptional at what they do, but I don't necessarily like it. Or someone is crazy good at what they do and I love it, but then someone else won't. So for example, let's say, so you said someone said they didn't like about the Miles thing. Miles is necessary in my opinion, but then you have someone like Portia Love. She's necessary because she has a demographic that's going to reach people.
Mm.
Then you have a Dayton.
Mhm.
Someone that listens to Miles Minnick or Portia Love might not ever listen to Dayton because of how he raps and
Mhm.
and the crazy and the intertwined verses. They might not like that. But Dayton is necessary. Then you just kind of go across the board. You've got a Not Clyde. Someone that listens to Not Clyde might not listen to Dayton, but then that's a demographic that needs to be reached.
So it's like the
And
body
so
of
it's like
Christ
a hand.
in Christian hip hop.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. You need each part of these things. Someone's gonna like it. You know, if you want to
Right.
get the kids to go crazy, send them to a Miles Minnick show.
Right.
But
Don't send them to like a gritty CHH show.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem with a lot of Christian hip hop is these rappers are trying to please everybody
Right.
instead of staying in their lane of their sound and just perfecting that. And the fan base I'm gonna get by doing this is the fan base I'm gonna get, right?
Right.
But we have a lot of artists out there that don't really have a style. They just have the style of whatever they think is popular, whatever they want to grab onto. And like, let's say a movie. Me and you were talking about John Wick earlier on Facebook, right? Let's say John Wick wanted to come out and make it. They want to make a comedy version of John Wick because the writer likes Steve Carell, and you want to make something like The Office with John Wick. Like, it's not going to work out, right? It's going to look weird.
I get it.
And I think that's what a lot of artists do. Just stick to your style. You're great at what you do. And I think that's one of the issues with our genre is not everyone, a lot of artists trying to make the whole community happy.
Yeah.
And that also has to do with people reading the comments too much, like, oh, this isn't good. It should be more like this. But that's because he's a fan of that artist. He's not a fan of your style. Don't listen to people that aren't a fan of you.
And I think it's very important to understand who you're sending your music to, because music is very subjective. So again, if we were to take gritty CHH, I personally love it. I think all the guys that do it, the Commissioner, YP, C4, all those guys are exceptional. They have an incredible thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
But if you were to take a gritty CHH record and give it to a Not Clyde fan, they will hate it. They will say that it's absolutely garbage and it's the worst thing they've ever heard.
And vice versa.
And vice versa, yeah. If you took someone like me and you're like, yo, you're like this MC, check out this guy and it's all mumble rap and it's just, wavy. I don't want to hear that. I'm gonna tell you to, turn it off. But someone needs to hear that. And so I think it's essential to have all of those different things, because that's how you essentially reach the enders of the world. If we are all gritty CHH guys going for the world, we're not going to get far, because we only have a small little segmented space. And so
the crazy thing is, like, if you talk to those, I'm sorry. Yeah.
You're good.
I interrupted you. The crazy thing is, if you talk to some of those rappers, you talk to most rappers, they don't listen to other rappers who are like them. Most of them don't even listen to rap. Like, I'm friends with Alcott, and he listens to like Chet Baker and like John Bellion all the time, But you would think he listens to like super angry stuff whenever because of how he raps,
Right. No, I think it's important to understand who you're submitting your stuff to. You have a lot of critique shows, for example. So you've got Obi. If you were to go and listen to Obi's catalog, you kind of know where Obi shines and kind of what, he's very smart at what he does. This is not me disrespecting him or talking bad. He knows what he's good at, but you kind of know what what he favors more. And if I were to send him a trap record, he's going to be able to dissect that a lot better than if you send it to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my lane. I can tell you how to improve things, but you have to know where to send it and who to get the advice from. If I'm a super MC, I'm going to send something to Dayton. If I want to, be on some like anthemic trap record and have some huge sync deal, I'm going to send that to Derek Minor or Cannon.
Yeah.
And if you sent the opposite to the other person, again, you might not get the same response.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just, there needs to be a lot more studying in it. Like, okay, who am I sending my stuff to? I'm not going to get the same response and the same reaction from every single person. Yeah. If you send a record to every reaction show out there, you won't get the same rating across the board.
I've been submitting to secular shows lately.
Yes.
And
100%.
just to see where I sit, with them.
Yep.
And they're all pretty positive, but there was this one dude, and he was cursing, and he was like, man, get this garbage off of my, because like you said, it's not going to please everybody, but
right.
But it's
And
good to
that's the
get
thing,
different opinions from everybody. It's good to
100%.
hear, people, because if somebody doesn't like that style and they still like your music, then you're doing something right.
Yep.
Right.
Well, as soon
And
as he
I
heard
think- I
Jesus,
think
I think
that's
as soon as he
where-
heard God, he was like, get this off.
Yeah, that could have been it too.
I've got a funny story. I got a funny story. So I did a record with Will Cada and Mickey Fax. and it was it was G-Unit inspired all day. And this girl's on TikTok doing this review show, and she's plastered, bro. She's so drunk. She's gone, but she's just cursing up a storm. She's got a blunt in one hand, and she's gone. And so I sent it to her, and then, you know, obviously in it, you know, Will Kid is talking about, you know, Jesus Christ, you're going to stomp on the head of the devil. We're going to do this and that. And she's just standing up, just like, yeah, this is so bleep, 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 amazing, bleep. And I'm like, yo, you're singing a Jesus song right now. Like, you are singing a worship record. Yeah. But you don't know you're singing a worship record. So that's why I always say, if we package it in the way that the world will receive it, it's so much easier to get it to them. Yeah. But I think our biggest misconception is we have to preach to you. And if you were to walk down the street in Brooklyn and you were trying to preach to a group of guys on the corner, they're going to punch you in the face, throw you in the street, or kick you out of that little conversation. But if you can if you walk up, you got the hoodie on, you got your Timbs on, you know, you got the skull cap on, and you're just, you know, talking to them, you know, how they talk, and you start, you know, being able to build. Now they're able to receive that even more, and then the conversation is better. But if I walk up there like, you know, suit and tie on, you know, comb over hat and Bible in my hand, hey there, fellas, you know, then automatically it's just like, nah, bro, nah, you got to go. And so it's just how are we packaging our stuff? I mean, you got guys like Hugh Flo and Prodi in Philly doing this thing at the Poppy store. From my understanding, I haven't done enough research, but I think it's a secular spot. Yeah. You know, and so you got two super dope Christian artists walking into a secular spot, and they're like, yo, we want you to come back for the next one and the next one and the next one. Yeah, that's dope because they're going in there and they're essentially preaching and giving you the word of God, but they're not forcing it down your throat and being too preachy about it. Yeah. And so I think that's what most people need to do. There's one avenue. We need to edify the body, but we also need to reach the lost. And if the lost isn't going to eat it the way we're giving it to them, we have to fix the recipe. Yeah, so they actually want to eat what you're giving them. So that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, let's jump into a song off the album. Luke, I'll let you go ahead. Like, what's one of your favorite ones?
Yeah, my favorite song on here is Ultimate, the Apathy and Alcott song. It's crazy.
Can I tell you a funny story about this record real quick before you play it? So this record was this record was supposed to be 4 people on the record, and then one person didn't get the verse back and fast, and so then we switched it and we split it, and then it was going to be Copyright and Alcott, and then we switched that, and there was a whole different beat, and then Apathy came into the picture, and then I remember Alcott always said his bucket list record was doing a record with Apathy, and I remember when I had my opportunity to do my bucket list record with Cannabis, it meant the world to me. So I was like, yo, let's make this happen. And being able to do that, like, it ended up being what you hear, but the beat that was originally for Ultimate is not on this version. It's on the multiverse variant, and the cuts were different on it. So many different things about this particular record, but this one, I worked directly with Apathy on getting the beat just the way that it needed to be. And so the funny story about that this is like the 19th rendition of how this record was supposed to be.
All right, we're gonna get into that right now. This is Ultimate right here, Speak Life.
We seem to be heading towards an era where subtle nuances and fine distinctions based on acute reasoning are often overlooked.
Who could stand the pressure, impacts and kicks from Galactus? Even the Silver Surfer couldn't match this. My rap shifts the universe's backbone, suplex like Hogan. Off of the top ropes to the mat with an explosion, exposing bones and bodies, bodying everyone. Raising hell like MC Run with an empty gun, pistol whipping whippersnappers like Goodfellas, and pull up in the whip to make the whole hood jealous. They tell us if we sell enough records, then we'll obtain fame. Give us a lame chain and put us in the same lane as lame brains trained to open gates for devils. Hard to explain, but there's way too many levels. And even if I tried to, it wouldn't surprise you, cause all the music and movies made to desensitize you. I'm hoping this is something that you can survive through. I'll even pray for you, hope that God revives you.
We're the ultimate team, we're the ultimate team, we're the ultimate team, and we overthrow the majority. We're the ultimate team, we're the ultimate team, we're the ultimate team, and we overthrow the majority. We're the ultimate team. ultimate team and we overthrow the majority.
Yo, cause and effect, I'll go ball for ball with the best and withdraw the off from the vest, cause I'm not at all what's expected. I'm at the next of who's next in the pecking order, so they invest excessive interest in protecting borders. It's sorta like they warring with foreign authoritarian governments, but they the ones who forming some more nefarious covenants. I'm no more than a servant, most ordinary as supplicants. I grab the sword, implore the Lord to carry the brunt of it. I trust that he has summoned me out of the dust for reasons. I know my faith is enough to lead a mountain to move, even if all like a monster is just the size of a mustard seed. Walk through the valley of shadow with death in my custom threes. I'm fearing no evil whenever I'm feebly picking me up and he crushed fatigue. It's Jesus and the thesis he preaches that breaks my worries in pieces. Yeah, death got no stings as he beat it. With Judas told all the soldiers when they get a hold of Jehovah, they put him to death and then closed him. But then that boulder rolled over, the tomb empty.
Yeah, that is really dope right there. That is Ultimate, Apathy, Alcott, and Phathom right here on Speak Life. And we have them live on the line. What do you produce with? What did you start with? What was your first tool ever to start making beats with? And then what do you use now?
So I started with the MTV music generator.
Oh, dang. That's
It
gangster.
was that was a PlayStation 1. Either PlayStation 1, no, I think it's a PlayStation 1 video game. Because that was for the broke people that couldn't afford an MPC. I couldn't afford one. It was way too expensive. And so a buddy of mine at the time who was producing for me said, hey, here's a copy of that. So my first DAW and beat machine, so to speak, was MTV's music generator and Cool Edit Pro. And now, fast forward all these years, I use my beat machine and Studio One. But I am trying to potentially move over to Logic. It's just, for me, it's just a learning curve. I've used one particular software for so long that I tend to just stay to that, and that's what I know, and I don't like to change.
Well, there's no
because
point
I've got my
to
shortcuts
move
and stuff.
over and learn something new if you already know what you
Man, my
have,
version of Studio One, it crashes every single day.
Oh, for
I'll
real?
be halfway through a project and then crash.
Yeah.
I've had to start a project over 3 times, and it's just, I'm like, bro, this software sucks. But it's a great DAW when it works. When it doesn't work, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. But that's what I do now. But yeah, it was literally a video game. Everybody that talks about Fruity Loops, I'm like, hey, this is pre-Fruity Loops. We had it was a 2-track. You had the beat that was mixed down, and you had the vocal. That was it. We didn't have stems for every single thing. It was literally a 2-track.
No, I had a guy. He had to come in and mix it through the PlayStation, plug it into my mixing board, and then we'd record the full beat in to the computer, and then he'd rap over it. Yeah. Yep.
Your next project, Phathom, you gotta pull out the PlayStation.
Do it, bro. Do it. Test your.
It's funny. I actually found it. I found the CD when my mom passed in January. I was cleaning up my parents' house, and I found in one of the drawers the MTV the little CD disc, and then I did find the PlayStation. I found the computer version of it. So I'm just like, hey,
all right, let's go.
Maybe we might, never know.
Yeah,
never know.
All right, man. Let everybody know where they can find you. I don't want to hold you too long. I know it's getting dark out there and you're in the car, but let people know where they can find you. And are you making any videos? I know it's hard to get these artists together to make a video, but are you going to make any videos for this project?
So what I did, I always try to get the artists to shoot their own verse and stuff, and then we would send it out that way. But I just started doing it myself because, again, getting videos back started getting more challenging and difficult, or they wouldn't do certain things. And so I was like, I'll just make videos, to kind of go off of what their lyrics do. And so I just do all those videos myself now. And so that was that project. But I'm already on to the next one. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 projects are done, so it's just kind of pipelines and kind of getting the next 4 going, and so that's kind of how I do it. I'm trying to get to the point where it's not so heavy dependent on everybody else.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't need a video person to do this. It's like, I'll do it myself. And so that's kind of how I've been my whole career. And so that's that. But yeah, I am Phathom on literally every social platform there is. IAMPHATHOM. There is no N in the name. And so it's kind of cool to hear you say my name correctly the first time tonight, because usually whenever I get introduced, it's always like, hey, we got Phathom. And I'm like, yo, that's not my name. That is not my name. It is
People just have to
not that
read.
at all.
And I think that
don't
goes
get it.
into,
I
know,
did the
my
same
time
thing.
dealing with UFC fighters. It's like their names are crazy.
Right?
So you have to really practice
Oh,
their
yeah,
name to
those
say it
are-
right.
I was like, why can't I
They're
find
trying
this
to
dude?
say,
You were putting in
they're trying to say
Phantom.
like, yeah, saying Khabib,
I hate when
can never say
I hate
Khabib's
when they
last name.
pronounce the K too. Habib.
Yeah.
Habib Nurmagomedov.
Funny thing, I had a jiu-jitsu student at one point say, hey, we want to go to, we're going to the Royce Gracie seminar.
Royce.
I'm like, sweetheart, it is not Royce. It is Hoyce. The R is, you don't say the R. Henner. That's how it works. We don't do that. And
It
so
kills
it's
me
funny
when
to see.
professionals do that though. Like I'll be watching TNT, NBA on TNT, and they'll call Giannis,
Right?
and they'll call him Antetokounmpo. I'm like, there's no B in his name.
Right?
And it kills me that these
It's
people,
wild.
get paid to do this and they get the pronunciations and stuff. When I was doing UFC
Right.
coverage, like we had a website, we can click on them saying their name. And
Right.
so we would know
Well,
how to
again,
say it.
If you're a professional, I think it's important. I mean, it's absolutely imperative to do your research. If
Yeah.
I'm going to interview, Frank Mir, I need to know, hey, you have this background, and not. So when did you start boxing? If let's say if I ask him, hey, when did you start doing Kaji Kempu karate? I never have. Oh, sorry, my fault. Like if you're
Yeah.
a professional, at least
Yep.
study what the artist or the person that you're actually talking to, say their name right, know their background, know their history, do a little bit of research. It's not that difficult. But
And I tell my clients that all the time that record their podcasts in the studio. My biggest pet peeve is when they look at somebody and be like, hey, tell us about yourself. It's like, don't interview somebody if you need them to tell them about themselves.
Right.
At least ask something
Right.
specific so they can expound on that,
Right. But I think at the same time, I think, the person that you're interviewing knows themselves better. And so it's almost like, hey, give me your, 30-second elevator pitch. Who have you worked with? What have you done? You have 30 seconds. Go. Name drop galore. Go
Yeah,
crazy.
but people don't
But
even
it-
say that. They just say, tell me about yourself, because they don't know. They don't even know
Right.
you worked with anybody. So
Right,
I don't know.
right.
That's just a pet peeve of mine. It doesn't take long to look someone up on social media and get to know something
sure.
about them. You know what I'm saying? So that's a
It's
frustration for me too. And to get people's
sure.
names wrong, it's like just figure it out. I'm sure they say their name somewhere on their social media page. But you did MMA. You said you've been doing it for 35 years. Did you watch UFC this past Saturday?
I was actively moving. So
Okay,
I
you were
couldn't.
moving, so you couldn't do
I
it.
couldn't. I saw somebody posted the Charles Oliveira fight, the highlight, and I was like, yo, what happened? Like, what happened to him? Like, I
You
saw
got knocked out.
just pictures, and I
Yeah.
was like, that's crazy, because that's my original jiu-jitsu coach's cousin.
Okay.
I think it's a cousin somewhere. It's in the Oliveira family. So again, they have it's a big family. And so when he was winning, they were just always rooting for him. And then whenever he loses them, I always shoot him a text like,
Yeah.
hey coach, you see that? Like he got leg locked, or he did this, or he did that. And so it's always cool. But it's I missed it. I definitely have to catch it and run it back. But-
Who's your favorite
yeah.
UFC fighters right now?
See, I have not been as engaged with it as I was previously. So I definitely have a lot of catching up to do. I really like, and I'm gonna blank on his name. It's the skinny dude, with the Irish guy. Can't think of his name now. He fought Sterling. I think he. Sugar.
Oh, you talking about
something. Sugar-
Sean O'Malley?
Yeah, O'Malley. I really like him. I think he's dope. I like Izzy a lot. I think he's really good. I really wanted to see the John Jones fight, but it didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, because he had a videotape that came out the day after he
Right.
retired.
I mean, for me, like it's a different era. Like I like it, back in the. I'd say take it back about 10 years when you had the Anderson Silvers, the BJ Penns, the Ben Hendersons, you had all of those guys that was in the mix. Like that was, I think that was like the prime golden era of it when you had.
But the fighters are
for
better
example,
now.
Yeah.
The
Oh, for
names
sure.
the
Fi-
names
yeah,
were
fi-
definitely bigger. I think the marketing was a little bit different.
100%.
But
100%.
the fighting now, I mean, the fighters are ridiculous. Yeah, it's
Oh, for sure.
ridiculous.
100. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Just again, seeing what Izzy did for the longest time, like nobody could read him because he
Yeah,
was
not at
so
all.
unique. Like
Yeah.
if you
But
were,
now
if you were to
he's
fight,
kind of washed now.
yeah, oh, for sure. Like if you fought like Loyola, you know he had a karate
Yeah.
stance. You kind of knew how he would do things.
Yep.
A lot of guys would kind of they would show their kick or they would step before they would do things because they were very one-dimensional. You knew that they were going to do this. Like for example, like BJ Penn had the exact same training camp for like forever. And then when he finally changed the training camp, you know, he saw a few different things happen. But it's just crazy because people were so focused on one style for the longest time,
Yeah.
and they might add a little bit, but now it's like you have these hybrid fighters that know everything.
Yeah.
They've got like 64 black belts, and you're just like, yo, this guy's incredible.
Yep.
Like I wouldn't fight him, you know. And so
Yep. Well,
it's
I
wild,
noticed
but-
something during the fights, and there's actually a video that's posted because we see a lot of people during fights give a shout out to God, and
right.
sometimes we don't know what God they're talking about, and then sometimes they straight
Right.
up say Jesus. But this last fight night, UFC 317, everybody was preaching on the mic after their fight. So I got a
That's
quick video
awesome.
we're gonna play right now.
God, thank you, family. Thank everybody here. Turn to Jesus. Give your life to him. Urgent, repent. Jesus is coming back soon.
I want to thank all the glory to God, because without him, I wouldn't be here right now. So thank you, God.
Oh, man, thanks, God. Thanks, my village.
First of all, I want to honor my Jesus, my Savior, who put me here, who make me bouncing back always. He did a hard job, hard work.
I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Every single time I've stumbled, every time I fall short, he's there, picks me up, gives me strength, allows me to come back and be here this moment. It feels good, Joe. It feels good, but it's more important that it feels good because I know Christ is living in me. First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. The first thing I want to say is thank you, God. Everything I have, everything I am, and everything I'm going to be someday, it comes from him. So all the glory to God. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, God.
It was just fighter after fighter, and it was
That's
it was dope to
amazing.
see
That's
because
amazing.
and Joe Rogan's just trying to ask the questions because he don't want to get into religious stuff. Even though on his podcast, like he's been a lot more receptive to that stuff too. So it's
Yo,
been dope to
I
see.
heard
So I
he
want to
had-
see
I heard
if
he's been going to church.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
I
want to
was
see
gonna
if he's
say
going to
that.
actually
He
respond to
posted.
this and talk about that on his podcast because it was happening more than usual. Like we usually see it a few times. During a fight night, but it was like almost every fighter.
Well, Dana White hates
Like
that.
that's
right?
amazing. Yeah, Dana's not happy. You know for a fact he's not happy with that.
He's fine with people saying
that-
stuff in around. You can say whatever you want in the octagon.
Because he
But
said before, I remember I read an interview. He said, if you want to talk about Jesus on here, this is not the place to do it. Don't
Yeah.
do it in my ring. And like he was very adamant, like, hey, don't do this here. And you tell someone that you can't talk about God.
yeah.
Good luck.
And you have all the
Yeah,
Muslim
right.
fighters, like they shout out Allah all the time.
Right,
So it's like
right.
you can't
Yeah, yeah.
stop everybody from, saying what they
Right.
want to say, whatever got them there, whatever they feel, So, but hey, bro, I appreciate you getting on with us last minute. We'll definitely have to do it again. Come out to Vegas
sure.
sometime, man. Get in the studio. We can chop it up more. I'll let you hold my
sure, that's the
NPC
plan.
2000.
Yes, fine. I can actually hold one in my hand. So just looking at it in the Guitar Center.
But definitely appreciate you getting on, and we'll be spreading the word about this album a lot more because it really is dope.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm
And,
gonna hit you up about a
appreciate
beat,
you.
bro. I don't know if I can afford it, but I'm gonna hit you up about some beats.
No, we're not. I come from. I learned from cannabis and some other people. There's people out now that don't have asking prices. They don't have a price. They're just like, yo, if you're dope, cool, let's work. And I try and emulate that as much as possible. But if there's ever a season like, yo, we just moved, I need to do a beat sale. Boom, I'm gonna do a beat sale. But if it's just like, hey, we a Tuesday in August, like, yo, you're dope. Like, let's do a record all day. That's how I've always been. I've always tried to do it that way. But I'm always the person that wants to work as much as possible and try and keep things going as fast. Because, like I said, I noticed on this side, people will drop a project and then 4 years later, They're back. And it's just like, you got to keep going. Like, you're only as good as your last release. Like, that's why I said I've got 4 ready to go.
Yeah.
Dope.
So,
all right, man. We're going to play another song. What's your favorite song on the album that you want us to play? Why Lukey's more Altoids?
You have to. It has to either be War Games or Safe House, but I would personally go with War Games because that's the follow up to. So that I did a record with the same lineup minus Dayton and Tarver 20 years ago, and it came out on the 20-year anniversary of that. So that's
crazy.
always going to be my favorite. That's my.
And you have Chino XL on this. You talked about your relationship with him, and it's coming up on a year since he passed.
He was one of my best friends. I would say Chino was literally like my brother.
Yeah.
Like, and it was never like, hey Chino, hey Phathom. It was always first name basis.
Yeah.
You know, how's the kids doing? How's the family? Yo, how's your dog? Yo, did your dog eat your shit? Like, it was always stuff like that. It was never like, yo, let me compare verses or talk about beats. It was always just life.
Yeah.
And when that happened, man, I got that call. I think it was a Sunday or a Monday, and it was just, I was like, nah, that's not real. I called his phone, nothing, and then I found out the confirmation. I was like, yo, that's crazy. But I wanted this one to come out on the 20th anniversary, and it came out the 20th anniversary, and it's special. It'll be special forever. It started with Chino. He was the very first secular artist to ever give me a shot, ever.
That's dope.
He was the first one, and he was the last one I ever got. He was the last secular artist I got a verse from. So
wow,
so he's dope. He's
Steve,
family
man.
forever.
Well, I appreciate it, and we will definitely talk to you again soon.
For sure. Appreciate the opportunity.
Later, bro.
Sir. This is War Games, Phathom on the What If Project.
It seems that we've reached a point in time where our minds and our senses will no longer react to moderate stimulation.
I never freestyle for free without charging rappers a fee. It'll cost you half of your body if you decide to collide with me. It's time to see the mind of a rhymer minus the privacy. I'd like to be the guy who divide the mind of a liar, please. Monstrosity, stomping of God's property. I'm Kirk Franklin, the earth shaking, divine prophecy. I'm like a lethal weapon to evil repping. When people stepping more than they need, confess it and he will bless it. These mobile rappers are not Chino, they fubar. Cut from the same cloth, waiting to XL Nunga. In the hell in the hall. But on Broadway, every day, 10 of these enemies sinning, pretend to be limiting anything meant to be given and forgiven me. Must have been sipping a Hennessy, pretending they menacing. When I'm cooking, I've been hooking rhymes. You might have been looking right in the line, but I see him like I got crooked eyes.
Citizens arrest, then double tap the citizens' chest. Cause citizens are not allowed to wear a vest. None dare call it conspiracy. Whenever spirit beings visit me, they tell me that Chino's the best. Seriously, I don't argue with them, I just cut to the chase and compliment them. Cause every first Chino be bombing them. Release the valve on the trip drums, both fists up. High pressure split gums and leave lips numb. They drank from Geronimo's skull, and now they gon' drink from yours. Praise the Lord, you drink, I pour. After we put you in a figure 4 and break off both of your arms, with eyes closed, recite Psalms 94. The poetry pipe apart, human part, particle collider. This the part where I turn you into fertilizer. The embers grow, the fire within dismembered the host, and now you know it is fire, there's smoke.
Your Achilles tendon is not defending the honor to follow up one of my verses strongly enough after I spit. What? You don't pack an adequate act to get swung. We ain't laughing with you, we laughing at you like William Hung. Come get dragged into the tormented, morbid, twisted world of hurt. Paralyzed from the eyebrows down, wishing that you would never birth. Breathing dirt, flowers growing out of your nostril. I'm hostile, running full throttle, squeezing the trigger, aiming the nozzle. The barrel hotter than flannel in the Mojave or Safari. Shell tearing your body, shooting the saddle from your kemosabe. Understand me, Sabe? I make money like Ronald Reagan's resurrected back in office and it's 1980. If you mad, say you mad. You be the man if you had one rhyme for every 80 rhyme poison pen has. I'm incapable of writing anything other than L. Gino Tarantino skills, sicker than 80 volumes of Kill Bill.
I slaughter these flows, no mortals equal. If you're the goat, then I'm the chupacabra from Puerto Rico. You roll with me, bro? You must have snorted more perico than that boy Pacino's enormous heap of imported kilos. Your boy's elite and this is more than beast mode. put me on them beats, I leave them all deceased cold. Talking sheep, you said I fall at your defeat. No, spit your bars at me, then on the streets where all your teeth go. I'm not of this world, the Martian is here. When I call up my squad, flying saucers appear. Invasion, so your favorite artist is scared. Red laser beam zap and they all disappear. In this ring, I'm Steve Austin, toss me them beers. Step in and it will cost your career. I'm one man with the strength of 300 Spartans with spears. And my bars are compared to the claws on a bear.
Jerry curl, a black Raider hat, and a pair of Nikes. That mean I go hard but make it look easy like Eric. Jerry curl, a black Raider hat, and a pair of Nikes. That mean I go hard but make it look easy like Eric Wright. I ain't taking vacation days, I'm working every night. So my pockets get burned. Shout out to Barry White. I'm out to get the Gouda, yeah, get the Gouda. You take your shot, you getting these bars like a convicted shooter. I'm killing these rappers, but it ain't murder. One on the instrumental, it's involuntary manslaughter, cause the killing was accidental. I didn't even see you sitting there holding your pad and pencil. I just started freestyling, shooting up the kick, snare, hat, and cymbal. It's really that simple. Turn off the lights, start spitting that butane. It's dark as death in here, like my studio was designed by Bruce Wayne. These rappers acting like me being dope is a new thing. They act as if I'm only a king, cause that's my new name. The West.
The West. That is, what was that? War Games from the What If Project, Phathom. Really dope. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, make sure you go and check it out. It's definitely worth it if you like that style. And if you don't, no one cares. Listen anyways. We don't. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, I want to leave the site. If I push click off, I want to leave the site. Thanks, YouTube Music. We didn't really get a lot of music reviews. I think we might have one. Let me check.
Wow.
That's what happens when you don't do this in a long time. People disappear.
There's 9 people watching. You're about to get 9 right now. Oh, I'm one of them. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm one of them too.
Okay, never mind. You're about to get 7.
Wow.
C. Duff was watching from like 5 different computers.
But we are going to be
What's
more
going
consistent.
on TV over here, man? What's this?
I don't know why you looking.
You have control.
Not really. I'm not paying attention to that. I'm paying attention to my show. They're just cuddling, Luke. No, what happens is I have movies on, and then it'll just start, like Amazon Prime plays random movies after your movie ends. So it's just like, yeah, that's happened before.
It's like Demi Moore over there.
It's not the worst person to look at. I got a pastor on one TV and us on one TV, and then Demi Moore listening to Snoop Dogg's first album on one. But yeah, we are going to be here more consistent, so we'll get these artists back to submit their music. I think some people are scared to submit their music because we've let them know how bad they are.
Don't be scared. We don't bite.
No.
Hey, you know what?
I think we give really good
honest,
critique.
Yeah. I love the honesty, dude. Like
Yeah.
when I submit my music, I'm like, tear me apart, bro. Like, just rip me up, dude.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that makes you better. I randomly started a T Public store this week, and one of my shirts says "Normalize telling your friends that their music sucks."
Yeah, that's good. So now you got a merch line?
No, not a merch line. It's all sold through T Public. It's just random thoughts I get in my head. Oh, that'd make a good T-shirt.
Make a T-shirt.
Yeah.
You love those Altoids.
I love them. I love them, especially if I'm talking a lot. I don't like to have like the dry ticks of like when I'm talking.
Yeah.
So yeah. And you didn't offer me a water when I showed up. So
Like,
You've been here. You've been here too many times. I don't like when people are chewing on the mic.
Was I chewing?
Do my best. Not.
Yeah,
he's
a little
letting
bit.
me know, I think, because
when people are chewing and sucking on the mic.
You'd rather it be on your TV over here.
Wow.
he likes people to whisper.
Luke misses church for a month and he's going wild. Man. All right, we're gonna and I told people, like, I really don't want to do music reviews anymore. I want to do strictly video reviews because people put out videos a lot now, so I want to kind of stick to that. But C. Duffel did give us a song, and so we're gonna play that for you tonight. It's called "All I Need." I don't know if no one else submits a song. We're not even gonna critique this song. We're just gonna play it, and if you guys like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
It's God. Can't nobody else save me.
All I need is God.
See Duffel.
Is God.
See Duffel.
All I need, all I need, all I need, all I need is God. Can't nobody else save me. All I need is God.
I put my trust in God, I don't put it in crystals. I don't put it in new age, sage, wage, or pistols. I believe in a higher being, not the Big Bang. Look around, are you insane? Intelligence is placed inside the membrane. Every time that you breathe, you're saying his name, Yahweh. He paid for your sins, that ticket's big like Beyonce's or Kanye's. I pray that the universe will not be your God. Creation, worship, and creation, that equation is flawed for real. But mama told me don't worry about it. I'm made from clay, but I promise I'm boxing life like cash. And say what God want me to say. I'm not a slave to status. Taking airwaves at a time, I'm gonna cause some static. Tailor-made, I'm from a different fabric. Trying to put me inside the box, I'm striking all the matches. Way too hard to sleep on, you need a different mattress. Bring it to the straight and the narrow, I'm on a different atlas.
All I need is God. Can't nobody else save me. All I need is God. Is God. All I need, all I need, all I need, all I need is God. Can't nobody else save me. All I need is
So go and grab your Hercules. I bet he hurt his knees running the Pegasus. Can't hardly breathe, the word just cut his spleen. The sight is odd to see, not odd to me. My God will crush the darkness with his light, and that's a sight to see. Talk about your giants in my climate, that's a stone I see. Now follow me, I'll show you how to use your sling. I'll show you how to be a king, to serve the King of Kings. We in the war, and I understand what we fighting for. I ain't scared of no carnivore, casting deep in the reservoir. Which kingdom are you fighting for?
all I need is God. Can't nobody else save me. All I need is God. Is God. All I need, all I need, all I need, all I need is God.
All I need is God.
All I need is God.
Can't nobody else save me.
Can't nobody else raise me.
Can't nobody else feel me. Can't nobody else heal me. All I need is God. All I need is God.
Nice.
Amen.
See Duffel so dope because that was him doing the female voice and the male voice singing at the end. That's how talented this guy is getting every week. He just amazes me more and more. But that's C Duffel, All I Need. We're not going to critique it. We're not going to rate it unless you want to. You want to? It was a good song.
It was dope.
It was good though.
It was
Yeah,
dope.
I would go back and listen to it.
But submit it again when we have people sending in submissions. I do need to start pushing that out like at least a day beforehand.
When you were saying you wanted to do like a rating of some music videos or whatever, I saw a music video last week that is probably the best music video I've seen in a long time.
Really?
What if we watched it?
Is it Christian?
Yeah.
Who is it?
John Keith.
John Keith.
I've been hearing that name a lot, man.
John Keith, I think is it called Won't Fly? Hold on, what's it called? It was really dope though. Like he's acting a little bit in the front and it feels a little CCM, but then once the song starts, you're like, oh, okay.
He's like the #2 Christian rapper right now. I was looking. I don't know
He's
why that
real
came
big.
up on my
He's
Google,
real
but-
big right now. Yeah. Anyway, just a thought that popped in my head.
It's Don't Fly.
What's it called? Hold on.
I just don't want to get hit because isn't he signed?
He's on
Won't Fly.
Yeah, Won't Fly. Are we we won't get in trouble, right?
We could get hit depending on.
Dang, never mind. He's on Dark Child's label. I don't think they're that big, but
yeah, we'll try it. But you did have a top 10, you said, of Christian hip hop albums for the year.
Yep.
So far, the first 6 months of 2025. It's already been 6 months of 2025, and this is our third episode. But it's already been 6 months. That's crazy. What have you done in the 6 months? A lot of people have their New Year's resolutions, their goals, what they're going to do. Have you fulfilled those? You got 6 more months to fulfill them. So do that now.
Yeah,
but Luke, give us your top 10.
Yeah, 2025 has been a weird year for CHH. So like last year, I feel like a lot of people came out of retirement or finally did that project they were talking about for a few years. And so I feel like last year was a really strong year. This year, there's a lot of good albums. I would say not a lot of great albums. And so it's been, I listen to everything that comes out. My list is whittled down from like probably at least 60 songs or albums. And so this is my top 10 right now. This could change.
So far in 2020.
Yeah,
See,
so
that's
far.
what you're doing instead of working on your music.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like this though. So on my number 10 album of 2025 is No Big Deal and Kato on the track, Soul Brother.
Okay.
It's really, really dope. No Big Deal's been around for a while.
Yeah, he's been doing
and
stuff.
talking about collaborating with secular artists. Kato is a secular producer, and so they did it's an EP. I think like 5 songs on there. They had some really dope features on there. It's really solid. Number 9 is a West Coast cat. His name's Mercy34. His album's called Murder to Mercy. He's just really like West Coast. He's kind of got a deeper, grittier voice. I just really like it. He just put out a single today. I really enjoyed him. He's got a couple songs with like Seven and those guys. So
he's mobbing.
He's mobbing. He's mobbing.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him.
Number 8, we're staying out west. Miles Minnick and John Keith did an album called The West Indies. And like Phathom was saying, like Miles isn't like the best like bar for bar rapper, but he makes hits.
He's dope,
and so this is like a summertime album.
Yeah.
I thought it was just really fun. So there's that.
How are they together? Because they are 2 totally different styles.
Yeah, so John usually has like the wavy stuff going.
Yeah.
And that's what his new album that just dropped on Friday is more like. But like he can really spit though. And I really liked some of the stuff. They kind of ripped off some like quintessential West Coast vibe on there. There's like a song that sounds just like In the Club, but it's like it's fun. Like I said, it's just fun.
Yeah.
They know they know how to make people bob their heads, you know. Number 7 is Linnell Grant. My Name is Nell. I don't know if you heard of her. She started as a producer for Toby and Wigwam, and she's from Houston, and she is way better than he is now. Like
Really?
I feel like he kind of plateaued, and she kept going.
I haven't heard much from him in a long time, to be honest.
Yeah,
but-
so she left and started making her own music and kind of picked up where he left off. I feel like he's missing her now. Just really creative, and
Check
she
the
can
comments
just
real quick,
really,
too.
really
Yeah.
spit. What happened?
Comments, man.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at my list.
Well, you got to take your list off and check the comments.
Okay. Oh, my wife is on there. Okay. Hi, Dre. Nice. Yeah. We're gonna get a C Duffel album in October. That'll be dope. Cool.
He said trying to get his out by October.
No, we're saying it right now. You heard it here first. It's coming out in October.
I see every day on Facebook for the last 5 or 6 years. There's an artist on there all the time. Who, man, you guys ready for me to drop it? You guys are. Who am I talking about? Anybody know?
Avery Harden.
No, he drops music all the time.
Yeah, he's always dropping stuff.
He drops music all the time. Gemstones.
Oh, Gemstones.
He's always teasing about dropping it.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you're never dropping anything. Anyways.
So 7 was Linnell Grant. Number 6 is Jazz Donnell and 2J's God Incidents. I kind of randomly came across this on Instagram. I just thought it was really dope. 2J's is a UK rapper. I hope I got that right. One of them's UK. But anyway, It's really dope. Like boom bap, like laid back flows, just really, really solid. Again, it's like a probably 5 tracks. A lot of people are doing that these days.
Yeah.
Which
I like better, to be honest. I don't want to listen to 14 tracks of the same artist.
Yeah,
right.
Easier to consume.
Yeah. Just make 5 dope songs.
Yeah.
Yep.
My number 5 has been Seven's new album, Moses.
I didn't know he had a new album.
So he put out a new album, his first album in 8 years in January, and he's dropped 2 projects since then.
He's back out of retirement.
Yeah. So this Moses album though was the first one. It's just really solid. Like, it's crazy though because he's not scared to do a 3rd verse. He's not scared to do like a 2-minute musical interlude. You know, so his songs are all like 5-6 minutes long. But I just love his lyricism. I love his candor. I love the honesty.
Yeah.
It's just it's dope. I really like it. I've always liked him. Number 4, you heard it tonight. Phathom, the What If Project. Now it could go a little higher, but right now it's my number 4. these other ones that are above it, I probably listen to. Well, the one, it's impossible for me to listen to it more, but anyway, these are more the ones I've been listening to the most, and so yeah, that Phathom project is really, really solid. Number 3 is the new John Keith album that just came out on Friday. Again, like I've been listening to it a lot since Friday. I've probably given it 6 spins. It's more wavy, like R&B kind of stuff. He does have a couple like raps on there, but it's mostly and a lot of storytelling, a lot of like dealing with like relationships and like really like honest stuff. And I think it's really fresh to have that in the CHH space. Like he's talking about stuff that people don't, and making it not corny and like just being a real person, I think is really nice.
And he's really good at picking the beats too. The producers he works with and stuff. He always has really good beats.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And then number 2, really slept on. A lot of people don't know him, but you should know him. His name is King Sonic, and his album I Got Something to Say, IGSTS. Dude, it's so cool. It's like soulful, like laid back, kind of music, and he's just I really enjoyed it. It's one of those. It's probably like 10 tracks, but you can get through it real quick because you're just vibing on it. Yeah. It's really, really solid. Like the sequencing of each track to each track, very thought through. I thought it was a really concise, really good, solid project.
10 tracks is good too if it's like that. Like if it's playing through and if they're not 5-minute songs.
Right. Yeah. And then my number 1 track, and right now I can't see it moving from the number 1 spot, is DJ Mike LV and 350 Somewhere Along the Way. And so, yeah, that's it. 350's that dude. He started up probably like 10 years ago now, but he was trying to do the wavy stuff. He's just been doing boom bap now, and he's really good at it. Yeah. And then DJ Mike LV putting together, kind of the A&R, putting all this stuff together. It's a great album. Somewhere Along the Way. I actually went on even.biz and bought their deluxe version of it, and so there's a few extra tracks on there. That's the way I prefer to listen to it. Yeah. But yeah, there we go. There's my top 10.
How do you say his name? DJ Mike what?
DJ Mike LV, MYKAELV, 350.
You have to check that one out. I really have not listened to hardly anything this year.
Well,
just where I'm at.
I just put you on.
Just where I'm at.
There you go.
Definitely. I'll check some of them out for sure. I am a John Keith fan, so I definitely will check his album out for sure.
Yeah. And I have not heard one of his songs. I've just been hearing about him a lot. I have not heard one of his songs.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. I mean, he fits in the current wave, I think, and it's really strong.
And you've been to the Holy Smoke tour?
Holy Smoke, I've been.
Is that coming up again, or did that just happen?
It's coming up again.
Are you
in
going
August?
again?
Yep, I'm going again.
Okay.
Yep.
How is that?
Dude, it's a blast. I actually enjoy going to Holy Smoke. I've seen most of those acts now, so it's more of just like hanging with our friends, you know. So like the last 2 years, my wife's gone with me, and we we chop it up with whoever, go get dinner with whoever. That's been really cool. The networking part of it. Also, I mean, you call it networking. I think most of these people are my friends now.
Just hanging out, yeah.
Yeah, we're just hanging out. This year, we both work at church. My wife has to work, and I'm still on sabbatical, so I'm going by myself.
Why you smile so big when you say that?
It's just
she's watching, bro.
Yeah, she's watching. She knows. She
you
knows.
have to look sad.
She knows. But yeah, Holy Smoke's really cool. Phathom was talking about earlier about how, like, man, if someone like Lecrae put some of these smaller people on, that would be a big thing. I mean, I feel like No Big Deal does that though.
Yeah.
And I know he's probably not in the same echelon as Lecrae. I would say he's top 5. And so for someone like that,
I think for the new generation, I think he's bigger. Like if you're talking about people in their 20s and teenagers, he's bigger than Lecrae.
Right.
That's how I feel. Lecrae's coming out with a new album too, right?
Yep. Lecrae's got a new album. Andy's got a new album coming. It's going to be a good.
And Andy's not on Reach anymore, right? He did that whole thing.
Yeah. It was kind of a troll.
No, that part was.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Then it was real at the end. Yeah. Yeah. That's. I think I heard that Show Baraka's gonna do an album soon. Like a lot of. Like here at the end of the year,
I feel like that's going to be an angry album.
I don't know.
I like Show Baraka, but his last couple albums,
yeah,
especially when people are getting older, it's like
Yeah, and usually around Holy Smoke, Dill or somebody like that will come out with something so they could do it at Holy Smoke.
Yeah.
So, but it's great, man. Anybody who likes CHH that can get out to Nashville for Holy Smoke, I think it's worth it. Now, I've been to a few other Christian hip hop festivals. I think this is the best one. It's just well run, organized. All the people are there. People know that it's like a place to be.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those that like, yeah.
So is there other artists there that aren't performing?
Oh,
just
yeah,
hanging out
yeah.
and stuff like that too?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's dope.
And it's a small enough room to where like, some of these people want to just see the other people. So like you just be standing in the back and like last year, Ty Brazzle just walks up to me and starts chopping it up, like stuff like that. Yeah.
That's sick.
So
that's dope, man. And then next week, I think Monday. Is it Monday? Why is it coming out on a Monday? Probably for the 7/7. Avery Harden is dropping a new project, and he's going to be here next Tuesday live in the studio. We're going to play the whole album. I think he's going to perform half, and then we're going to play half. He's going to go through every song, let us know what it's about. If he has any videos for it, we'll play the videos as well. So he will be here next week. I think he's bringing some people, so we'll get some food.
You're going to have a squad and
stuff like that, yeah.
Am I invited next week?
Let me check. No, you can come through. Yeah, come through for sure.
All right, I'll wear my
That should
Avery
be fun.
shirt. I have an Avery shirt.
You have an Avery shirt?
Yeah, I think I bought a few shirts off of him last year. Yeah.
Do you ever wear that shirt I bought you?
It doesn't fit me anymore. It's shrunk. The D-Mob
He
shirt.
sold it.
Hey, D-Mob put out an album this year.
D-Mob,
It's
I
really
forgot-
strong.
I forgot what shirt that was.
Speaking of shirts,
I owe him too. Because I owe you a shirt, and then I don't do the show for 4 months, so I forget to go get it. You won the Dodger blue, right?
oh yeah, you remember? That's right.
You won the
Yeah,
Dodger
yeah.
blue.
I was gonna wear my Dodger hat today too. Yeah. That
Dodgers doing pretty good, right?
They're decent.
You're wearing an LA hat.
This is
that's
an Angels hat.
Yeah.
I would never wear a Dodgers hat. I have so many hats. I don't have a Dodgers or a Cardinals hat.
I'll get you one.
Nah, I'm good.
See, I'm one of those, man. I just like the color.
Yeah, because you're a gangster. All right, man. I think that's it for the night. We will be back next week with a full show and a full house. I think all these seats are probably going to be taken up as Luke's texting in a group chat with us right now.
I'm present. I'm texting you.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys coming through. Come back next week. Avery will be here. Yeah, we'll do something next week. Have some food or something.
What are you guys doing for 4th of July? That's coming up. That's
Me and the
Friday.
fam are
Friday.
camping with some friends. We're going to Salt Lake City. We're going to Monster Jam.
Oh, dope. I'm protesting or something. I don't know.
You're protesting.
Don't people protest that
He's
day,
testing
man?
out his lens.
He says- I have been going to film the protests every time. So, yeah, I don't know. I actually have, that's Friday, so I have studio sessions. I told them that I'm not canceling so they can come through. But other than that, I'm not a big holiday person anymore.
Yeah,
I'm really not. I don't know if
working,
that's, if it'd be different if I had like a family and kids, I think it'd be way different.
Yeah.
I think I would care, but I don't really, especially being a business owner, sometimes those holidays get in the way of business.
Yeah.
And that, is rough. But other than that, I don't know. Kick it with the fam. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I haven't even talked to them to see what we're doing.
I think we're just gonna go find a high spot, like up on the hill back there.
Yeah.
And just watch, chill out. I'm off.
I
for the
feel
whole
like,
week.
I don't know. I've seen fireworks so much. You see them on New Year's out here. Like they do big fireworks out here for New Year's.
They do.
And I was able to just walk right outside my studio on New Year's Eve and see them all over by the Stratosphere and then downtown. So, like, I don't know. That was 6 months ago. I don't really care again. And I did put something up on my Instagram. No one is going to watch your firework videos from your phone.
No
one
that's true.
cares.
Yeah.
I don't know why so many people do that. If you want to do it for memories for yourself, just do it.
Definitely.
But
Right.
we don't even go back in our own phone and watch that.
Nobody
type of
goes
stuff.
and watches that. No.
But listen, that's just going to make me scroll through. If you do it too much, some people have like, when you go on Instagram and you go to someone's story and it's a whole bunch of little dots on top
Yeah.
instead of like two or
Just
three
swipe.
lines.
Swipe.
Oh, I
It's
got
their whole night.
Yeah.
I got to mute you out. If you do that all the time, like stop. Stop trying to make your life that important to everyone else that follows you. That's annoying. I hate when I see just like super small dots.
And I still can't stand that somebody tagged you and 89 others. Man, I don't know. That just bugs me.
That's
that
funny.
bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something I'm involved in, cool. But yeah, when it's something,
Or
I don't really
trying to-
get that anymore because I
trying to
have
promote your
to. I have to approve the tags now, so I don't really get that.
Oh, you're
do
big
that?
time. That's what that is.
How'd you do that? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Going to your settings. It's not that difficult.
No, he's big
You just
time.
go into your settings and
Big
fix that.
time. Quan.
Yeah. But anyways, we are out. We will see you guys next week. Avery Harden will be here, so it's going to be a fun show. So make sure you guys tune in and come through. If you're in Vegas and you want to come through, hit me up. I'll see if I have any seats left. But it should be fun, man. It should be fun. We're going to have him perform a little bit and play the whole album. If the album sucks, we're going to tell him to his face in person how bad it is. But yeah, other than that, peace.
Peace. This probably